Ndinoda kuti nyika iziwe vanhu vangu inguva yedu hatingatadzi kubudirira Mwari ari parutivi pedu rambai muchirwa My hitters gon' die, don't die The real hitters gon' shine And my people gon' rise Cause we're born to win, yeah Ain't saying but I'm saying
Loyalty's my favorite characteristic of God, but finding it in him is hard. It's like trying to find God. You're the only one in your camp with cheese. You pay for everything they eat. Man, that insecurity is deep. Now I ain't said no names. These are just theories. If you hear me, baby, it's home. You must admit it's kinda eerie, baby. Like them chemtrails in the sky. Ain't the selling the slaves, kinda like the combines. We say everything in moderation, but don't do it in moderation. The lies of a gluttonous generation. 10-year-old girl in.
That's right. Welcome, everybody. Grand rising and good morning to all of y'all. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I am your host, Trae Holiday, and I want to welcome you to a terrific Tuesday on this amazing Tuesday. We have a great show for you today on the show. We have Brit Moorer, and we also have Sinclair Mitchell in the building. I'm excited to be able to dive in with both of them. They're doing some amazing things. And, I got to tell you guys, when we have all of these amazing guests on this show, as you all know out there, this is about inspiring you to always understand that your brilliance and your greatness is thoroughly appreciated by others. Salman, do we have the on today graphic? We want to make sure we get that out there. Thank you, Salman. So they'll be joining us in a little bit. I got Brit coming up first, but I definitely want to share something with you guys in terms of how we here at Converge were able to do our part to uplift Tacoma.
Welcome to Tacoma. It's where we love to raise our families, where we love to dine, where we love to make friends and simply have fun.
I feel like we're trying to put Tacoma on the map.
Yeah.
And I think we're really trying to reclaim our city and really create a space for especially Black creatives, Black business people to be seen and to be known, and to also encourage Black business owners who are new or who are young. And so I just feel like we're finding our flow.
Well, this is a city of industry, man. This is a wonderful area with hardworking, honest people that we just want our quality of life to be high, be fantastic, and I think it's dope that Tacoma is really booming right now, and it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to see that it's booming and not losing its culture. That we have a chance to redefine what Black excellence looks like in this area, in the South Puget Sound.
I feel like what happened in 2020 in the world allowed for Black people to step into different things that maybe we have shrunk, or maybe we've been afraid to, or maybe we felt like no one cared or no one wanted to listen, or maybe there were things that existed in our own communities and now we feel like there's room, that people are paying attention, that people want to be invited in, and we're like, cool, we're taking this invitation. I think Tacoma is really special and really gritty and has so much to offer, and I think you're starting to see, especially in my generation, a lot of Black leaders rise up.
When I think of legacy and when I think of all of the work that has happened before me, Tacoma did not change. Tacoma did not progress because people gave up. It's because the leaders who founded our Tacoma Urban League over 50 years ago, the leaders that changed the trajectory of education at our local institutions like Tacoma Community College, who stood up and spoke out against racism, who stood up for social justice, they had stamina. Tacoma is rich in legacy and history and fighters and people who love and people who don't give up and people who have audacity. And that's what I want to carry forward, that type of legacy. I love that the community in Tacoma is just working hard and finding ways to show Black brilliance, to elevate Black businesses, and to make sure that our joy is alive and kicking, and we're providing different outlets, even late nights or family brunches, just all types of innovative ways to bring our community together and stay connected during a really difficult time. So I'm proud of Tacoma and proud of our neighboring cities here in Pierce County.
Like, this is our moment to shine, and so we're like showing up and shining.
Oh my goodness, shining indeed. What an amazing time to sit down with all of those incredible folks representing Tacoma at its best and brightest. And so thankful to all of the Converge team who came out to, really produce such amazing segments. We have some great interviews that you guys will be seeing coming up soon. And up next right now, we get to bring on somebody who is award-winning journalist. Brit Moorer is in the building. What's up, Brit?
Hi, Trae. I'm so excited to be here. Day 2 of your show. This is amazing. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm glad that you were able to make it work with your schedule. I mean, there are some phenomenal things happening in community. You are a part of a great effort to really bring citizen journalism and the fundamentals and foundation of journalism into the community. Tell us a bit about this digital storython.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. It's a 3-day boot camp. It's the William Grose Center presents the Africa Town Digital Storython. So it's going to be a 3-day event. The first day, we're inviting some youth, some middle and high school students to show up. I'm going to give them a curriculum, just like, I guess, the Cliff Notes version of Journalism 101, how to tell a story, the anatomy of a story, how to interview, which is also so very important. And then day 2, they're actually going to go out into the community in the Central District, interview business owners, entrepreneurs, community leaders to talk about what's happening in the Central District, to talk about their business's impact in the Central District. And they'll put together these stories. And then on Sunday, they'll be able to present these stories to the community and in front of an all-star media panel. I'm talking everybody that you're familiar with in the Seattle area, some heavy hitters, some King 5, Como, lots of, journalists, people who've been in major magazines. They're going to be critiquing these stories, essentially giving these young folks the skill set so they can go out and report on community events themselves. And they'll be able to establish some sort of portfolio so they can get hired, so they can go to college and gain even more skill sets to continue the journey of storytelling. I'm so very passionate about storytelling. I love it. So I'm really excited to hand down some of my learnings to the generation coming up behind me.
This is really, for me, what gets so exciting because, many may look at you and say, oh my God, but you were at King 5. Like that's, so many people that, aspire to do that and trying to find their footing and their pathway. But oftentimes there isn't a lot of that. Let me reach back out. Let me make sure I take a beat and take a breath to do what I can so that other people understand what it even takes. And when we think about storytelling, Britt, honestly, it can go beyond, those who are in major media doing it. I mean, I think that's really an ethos for us here at Converge Media, was that we were like, we need to tell the stories that we see in our community our way. And I think, we have to be able to inspire others to understand that as young as middle school, you can be telling your community stories.
Yeah, community storytelling, community journalism is literally the backbone of like all journalism. I know as a journalist myself, I would go to those local community-based publications, platforms like Converge to see what you all were talking about, to see if that could be even a larger story. We need to produce more young, gifted storytellers to tell our stories, because I will say, in a mainstream newsroom, it was difficult. I had to fight to tell our stories. And being that Black journalist, it's like this weight you carry. So we need to produce more of these journalists who can go into these communities, their own communities, be able to tell these stories and leave a lasting impact on all of our communities in the greater region itself.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's literally why I'm doing what I do here, right? But I'm so excited because process, being in some of the beginning discussions about this journalism boot camp and Storython, we're calling it. I was really excited because I know too that this is really how William Grose is also really showcasing its ability to be embedded in the community as a cultural innovation hub and allow young people to understand that they can come to William Grose to get these kinds of skill sets. Tell us a bit about how you got connected with this effort. I know King was making calls and tapping into community, but you've really been helping to shape what this is going to look like.
Yeah, King and I connected. As a reporter, I'd be hustling him down for an interview, like, hey, can you do this interview in 5 minutes? So that was always fun. And when he found out that I no longer work at King 5, he was like, oh, and you're choosing to stay in Seattle? Oh my gosh. Can you be a part of this effort? And in the beginning, it was this journalism kind of boot camp, and now it's developed into this Storython. And he said, what does this look like? What should we make it? And how do you think the youth are going to get the most out of this experience? And I think, you were talking about the different forms of journalism. Digital journalism is huge right now. So it's not like you have to have a major platform. You just need to be able to get your stories out there digitally, and then they could be shared, wherever. And I think that's the message for this boot camp or this Storython, is that we are all storytellers. We all have it within us. And once you hone in on that skill and develop it, you can do anything. These major corporations are looking for storytellers. All you have to do is be able to tell a story.
I really appreciate that you said that, because it really leads to my next question. I mean, you left King 5. We were just talking about it. She's like, oh my goodness, I haven't been in front of the camera in almost a year. Like, so that, wow, the time goes by really fast, but you were able to take all that you really honed in as a journalist and a storyteller and do something else with it. Just tell us a bit about that so that people understand it's not just in front of the camera work. There's a lot of ways to be sure that we utilize our skill sets as storytellers, because stories really run the world. I mean, they really do.
Totally. And it's interesting, I don't lead with this, but I had companies coming after me because they realized that I could tell a story. So there was a local PR, a global PR firm reached out to me after watching one of my stories for King 5. And now I work for that corporation. Wow. They understand the value of journalists having that journalistic mindset. They understand the value of being able to see something and, hey, I can turn that into a story. They understand the value of being able to talk to people and really bring out their stories. And that's what I'm really excited about with this Storython, is like helping some of the youth really pull out those good sound bites, the good nuggets. I call it the good stuff, because that's what we need to share, because we are all so alike. We just need people to share those likeness stories, and it really grounds us and brings us all together, especially in a time like now.
Well, I gotta say, some of the logistics behind this, it is huge, because I have participated in Africatown hackathons. This is really built off of that same kind of energy and strategy. This is 3 days. Friday, they're getting the lowdown. Saturday, they're going out to actually capture stories, with 5 businesses, Black-owned businesses in the Central District area. And then they're going to come back, do some editing, try to capture it up. Sunday, they're going to finish out editing, and then they're going to be showcasing these stories at Langston Hughes. Yeah. This is epic, because not only is it involving such a staple as Africatown and really, I think, bringing out some of the ideas of innovation that William Grose Center is going to do, but it's also partnering with something so historic in our community as Langston Hughes. I feel like this is really an awesome opportunity for young people, and thank you so much for bringing your brilliance to this effort and making the time. I have seen the presentations, y'all. Brit's been putting a lot of work in. Thank you for all of that. I know Salman is putting the link in the comments there. Make sure you look right there and let folks know how they can catch up with you and get their kids registered for this amazing event.
Yeah, totally. Check out the link. You still have time to register for this weekend's event. Like I said, a 3-day Storython. It's going to be a lot of fun, an opportunity to connect with some of our local journalists as well. If you want to reach out to me, I'm on all socials: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at Brit Moorer. It's an extra ER. And I'm always there, down to talk. Just hit me up in the DMs and we can chat storytelling. It's a passion of mine. I'm excited. and I can't wait. I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Well, Brit Moorer, thank you so much. You are phenomenal. I can't wait to be with you this weekend.
Oh, it's gonna be
I'll
fun.
be coaching my team very strongly, okay? I'm coming for it, and you guys understand, I'm going to be bringing all my brilliance to bear. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trae.
Absolutely. Oh, my goodness. I'm telling you guys, I'm already feeling all of the vibes. It's going to continue because up next, we have Sinclair Mitchell in the building. Right now, Sinclair is a major role in Fifth Avenue Theater's The Prom. Can't wait to dive into it with him after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
As a non-binary Black femme, a lot of my identity is rooted in body. Once the vaccine was introduced, it was really difficult to think in terms of safety as well as autonomy. As a Black American, the relationship with government is very complicated. It's hard to trust. A lot of these conspiracies are really impacting people making a decision, especially with Black folks, to be clear about what we're doing. I think it's just a well-rounded conversation to see what's best for us.
Hey there, it's Trae Holiday. And of course, Besa and I had to take a trip back to Market Street Shoes to grab some items. They always know what to show us. And let me tell you, we both spent quality time to be sure we collected some amazing additions to our wardrobes. They have some of the most unique bags, shoes, and accessories. I mean, the whole shebang. It's always a good time when I get to shop with my girl Besa. Make sure you go check out Market Street Shoes, y'all, and you too can walk out with some dope gear.
Ndinoda kuti nyika isiwe vanhu vangu inguva yedu hatingatadzi kubudirira Mwari ari parutivi pedu rambai muchirwa.
Welcome back, everybody, to The Day with Trae. I'm so excited to sit down with my next guest, Sinclair Mitchell, in the building. What's up, Sinclair?
Come on. It's good to be here. First, giving honor to God, without whose blessings there would not be. Congratulations on your Emmy.
Thank you.
Come on. You're doing great work for our community, and I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I got to say, this is something that elates me so much, is being able to sit down with actors and actresses like yourself. This, for me, as a young kid who was hitting theater, when I saw The Prom, I love going into a show not knowing what the storyline is.
Exactly.
And then being so inspired. I mean, I was welling up, Sinclair. Tell us a bit about your history as an actor and a performer on major stages.
Well, I was on Broadway. I've performed on all the major stages across the world, but somehow when I got The Prom, it was just, it spoke to me. It's the quintessential American story. You know what I mean? It's about a young woman who's fighting for her civil rights, and they're being trampled upon, and she needs help to make sure that she can have her voice heard.
Yeah.
And through song and dance and love and high energy, she ends up changing her peers, changing the town, changing the state, and changing the world.
Yeah, this for me, I just went to myself, wow, what I feel like there was moments in history where we were not bold enough and courageous enough to tell these kinds of stories. And I am so happy that we're evolving. It is slow because there's still so much more work to do, but it was really inspiring for me to actually have this protagonist in this young character who really then resonates with everyone, right? It's like, it's this age-old story of we have to press for what's right. And it does mean so oftentimes changing the mindsets of those who are stuck in antiquated thinking. And so you're so right about it being an American story. Tell us a bit about what it's like to be on stage with all those phenomenal characters and actors who are playing amazing roles. But I got to say, the music, oh my gosh, it is top notch. The harmonies and everything. Oh my goodness. I was out there enjoying myself thoroughly.
You can feel the love that the cast itself has. It oozes out into the audience, and everyone notices that we have such love and camaraderie amongst each other. But when you hear the audience response, just to some songs, and if they go, oh, and they notice something just touches your heart, which helps a performer like myself give a little more. I'm like, what, you like that? Well, here's a little bit more for you, and here's a little bit more. So being here in Seattle, feeling the love, preparing for Gay Pride here, and then being in San Francisco for all of Gay Pride that month, we're ready to rock and roll and tell this story to everyone. And to feel the love from the audience every night and being cheered as you end your work night, it means something to you.
Yeah, you know, I agree.
Especially with the pandemic.
Oh.
I mean, I was out of work for 2 years. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like I couldn't do anything. I had to wait tables and do construction work.
Wow.
I was like, I need money. This is not happening to me right now. And then to have this opportunity to tell this story and preach inclusivity across the country, especially during this time of Trump. You know, we need to get on the right foot, because all it takes for evil to prevail is for good to do nothing. And you can see that the writers really felt that, and they really told the story of the prom beautifully.
I agree. I mean, 1,000%. I think what I was so struck by was the love thy neighbor. Like the idea of like it's so easy to say it. It's another thing to live it, right? And I think that song and that piece for me was just, you know, as the young people were turning around and understanding, like, wait a minute, I am contributing to hate. I'm contributing to, you know, discrimination, and I got to do something different right now. And just the message of, you know, these biblical passages that I think obviously have been passed down from generation to generation, but living it is something different. And our country definitely still has work to do in that regard. But I think it's so effortlessly clear that when you really lead with love, you really eliminate so many other things.
I'm a Christian, and I know that one thing the Bible taught is not, oh, love all churchgoers.
Yeah.
Or just love all Black people. No, love everyone. That's what the red letter says. Love everyone. God didn't say just love gays or love just straight people. And that's the message the prom is preaching: inclusivity and love for all.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, your character definitely struck me well, because you played Mr. Hawkins in this beautiful musical. And, you know, you were one of the first adults really to be like, wait a minute, something is not right here. Tell us a bit how that character resonates with you personally.
Well, I feel myself as, since high school, I've been a bully killer. I hate bullies. I hate someone trampling on someone else's rights, someone that can't defend themselves and being pushed into a corner. I'll stand up for them. So for me to play Mr. Hawkins and seeing this young girl go through what she's going through, and a young girl in high school, and still they're being so ugly to her, and I can't stand it. So I called the state's attorney's office, you know, and I'm trying to get as many people as I can to help me fight for her civil rights. And the writing in the show just really lends itself. It's such a well through storytelling, like your last guest, storytelling. And telling that story was very easy. It was very, at least for me.
Yeah. Well, this is really exciting. I'm so glad that, you know, the prom is on a national tour. I agree with you. You know, now is the time. There's always a time to be preaching such a fine message of, you know, inclusivity, of love, of connection, of community, and what that really looks like. Right. I also was really struck by the fact that, you know, this when you think about people who uphold some of these messages and maybe unknowingly, right? The idea of them waking up, it just reminded me of what I experienced so much when we were doing a bunch of protest coverage in 2020 here in Seattle. But it was this global movement of how, you know, hardcore people were struck by George Floyd's murder. And it's we now are 2 years past that. And we are like, okay, what reforms can we put in place? How do we create new policy and legislation that's going to be reflective of this new age thinking? How do we cement this thinking and make it more sustainable over time. So it's not just the moment of 2020. I think that that's something that we see here in Seattle. And when you talk about being here in Seattle, there's so much, I'm sure, that resonates with you. Tell us a bit about some of the highlights of what you've been experiencing with the audience coming through Seattle and how you feel as a person who's now, you're breezing through, but we're happy that you're here.
It's good to be here. No, there's so much to do here. There's so much to see. Every day I'm doing something, eating at a nice restaurant, seeing the Space Needle. I'm just ready to take over the West Coast here, as we tour through the prom. And just spending my day, I'm giving y'all all my money. I'm shopping, I'm eating, I'm having fun. And then I get to go and tell a story like the prom every night. And I'm doing it all. I'm living my best life.
Well, we're so glad that you're
I'm
here.
making up for COVID.
There we go. There we go. I think many of us are agree with you on that. Trust me, I know, because I'm always like trying to shop local and buy Black, and I'm doing all the things. But you're so right about, Seattle having so much to give, and I'm so glad that you're experiencing it.
Well, the theater itself, we all know, is an escape. And sometimes it's more than an escape. Sometimes it's your healing moment. You can have the fantasy and the glitz and the glamour, which the prom has, but also it touches your heart and helps you to heal, and that's what the prom is all about.
Yeah, I could actually feel that from my own perspective, being in the audience, and really, as you said there too, people resonating with the story, right? And I love that the theater has the opportunity to do that, sometimes to bring messages to those who may not have seen that in their real lives, right? But they go to an amazing show like the prom that has such a strong message, and they walk away with a new understanding. That for me is like really where art, imitates life, but then it also inspires people to do something different
and stand up for others. Especially, I love the fact that when we're doing the show, during intermission, some people who probably hearts are just too hard and just won't soften, but nobody leaves during intermission. They still sit for the second act. And I'm like, yes, we didn't lose a single person.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, that's I know that's rewarding.
It restores my faith.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Well, I just got to tell you, Sinclair, I just am so appreciative for you to come on today to share with our audience a bit about your experience being up on that stage, telling such an iconic story, really an American story, as you said. It's important that we see it and we get it in multitude of ways, right? Theater, media, all of it. We have to be kind of attacking this holistically. And I think with, shows like the prom, it really does inspire me too. Because I'm like, you know what? We're on the right track.
Right. Inch by inch, we're getting better. We're not where we should be, but we're better than where we were.
There we go. There we go.
And you guys are doing such great work, Trae. I commend you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. You can look right there. Make sure people know how to come and see you on Fifth Avenue Theater stage for the prom. I know you guys have some shows left. Make sure they know how to find y'all.
Hey, we're in Fifth Avenue Theater. Come and see the prom. We have lots of tickets to be sold, especially for this month. It means a lot. Also in San Francisco, we're there for the whole Pride. Get your tickets at, I forget where.
That's okay. No, they'll find it. They will find it. Well, Sinclair Mitchell, thank you so much for being here on The Day with Trae. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Wow, you guys, I'm telling you, excellence at its finest. We're going to take a short break and I'll be wrapping up the show when we come back. Stay tuned, you guys. You're watching The Day with Trae.
When COVID first hit, I was very afraid. There was so much things that I had to keep inside because I didn't know where to place my feelings. Most of my information for COVID is from my own research. I'm a doctor in educational leadership, and when the FDA approved Pfizer, it helped me realize that the vaccination is healthy. We don't want to be left behind because we're not taking the vaccine, but we want to get as much information as possible so that we are putting ourselves in better hands and not at great risk.
Hey there, it's Trae Holiday. And of course, Besa and I had to take a trip back to Market Street Shoes to grab some items. They always know what to show us. And let me tell you, we both spent quality time to be sure we collected some amazing additions to our wardrobes. They have some of the most unique bags, shoes, and accessories. I mean, the whole shebang. It's always a good time when I get to shop with my girl Besa. Make sure you go check out Market Street Shoes, y'all, and you too can walk out with some dope gear.
Ndinoda kuti nyika isiwe vanhu vangu inguva yedu hatingatadzi kubudirira Mwari ari parutivi pedu rambai muchirwa.
Wow. Thank you all so much for watching the second episode of The Day with Trae. This has already been a phenomenal week. And I'm telling you, sitting here talking to Brit Moorer and also Sinclair Mitchell about how they're showing up in the world. You know, I'm always wanting you out there in the audience to be inspired by the people that we bring on to this show, so that you guys can know it takes all of us to be pouring in to make this world a better place. And I really want to encourage all of you out there to get tickets to the prom. You know, this is a show and a story that is not only inspiring to me, I know it will be inspiring to you as well. And something Sinclair said there that really struck me was, even when somebody's heart is a little hardened, they don't leave because it's so well put together. And I'm telling you, the talent is top notch. The songs are amazing. And the choreography is amazing, but it's also, they do it in a way that is humorous. And I think he is so right in terms of that's what we need as a country. We need to be able to come together, go to shows like this, you know, walk away with some shared values, begin to change our minds and our hearts and move in a direction of inclusivity and collectivism. That's what this country is really made of. It's people coming together to create and build towns, to create industries, to create companies. I mean, all of what we see around us is based on brilliant ideas. You know, find a way to allow your brilliant idea to shine out there. I want to, again, thank you all for joining us on The Day with Trae today. Tomorrow, I'm really excited because I have Rokia Jones will be in the building. Rokia is an amazing doula out here, and she's working with Tubman Center for Health and Freedom. They're going to be telling us about their Well Us data survey. They put it out there in the community, and they have some amazing findings. So we'll be a little bit about Health and Wellness Wednesday tomorrow. Looking forward to having you all join us then. And of course, for me, see yourself as a part of the solution. It is imperative that we all do that. I hope you're inspired by the guests that were here today so that you too can see yourself as a part of the solution. Until tomorrow at 11 a.m. Peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.